start with this one. Really interested to get both your takes on this. The new Department of Education figures have revealed the number of school suspensions and exclusions in England has reached the highest level since 2006. Tim, expand a little bit.
So this is really important to me as a school governor of a school in East London, and I think what the figures are saying are that the numbers are rising, but the most particular one is that primary school suspension, which is unbelievable, is risen by 21% in a year.
Unbelievable.
Now, the challenge is, are we putting the blame on teachers for not being hard enough on the pupils, or is it a parent's responsibility to make sure the children are coming to school ready to learn? Now, from my perspective, teachers are vocational leaders that we need more of, and we have to support them. And for me, as a parent, I want to send my child ready to learn and understand they've got to listen to a teacher.
It has to be the parent's responsibility.
It really has to be, because I think the reflection of your child is what you teach them in your home.
How do you manage this at your school? Because you were once a pupil at the same school where you're now chair of the governors, and you were quite a difficult child. How do they do it?
I love the diplomatic way you put that, definitely, because I got expelled from school. I was kicked out of school. So I was one of these...
For what reason?
So I was really bored at school. Yeah. I now know I'm in the ADH bracket in terms of where I am in terms of where my head is. And the teachers couldn't deal with that in a school environment. I was bored, I was looking out the window, trying to cause trouble.
This is like different times. They probably weren't even trained to be dealing with that.
It wasn't even the vernacular.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a conversation to be had. What we do in our school is that we start from a premise that we love every single child. And I know that sounds really weird, but actually, as a vocation, that's what you have to do.
Sounds the most natural premise in the world, Tim.
But unfortunately, that is not what many teachers are allowed or afforded to do, because it's all about targets, it's all about getting the children to a qualification standard. However, I think we have to have a 50-50 relationship with our parents who prepare their children for a working environment and come ready to learn.
I come from a family with a lot of school teachers. I have a son-in-law who's a school teacher at a primary school, and it's the overall atmosphere in the school as a whole that sets the tone of the school. It's not individual classes that run riot. It's actually if the whole school is committed to good discipline, not in a harsh way, as you say, but actually in a loving and exciting environment. And the parents have to take their share. You can't just dump your child and expect them to run it.
They've got to do their bit, haven't
I think the worrying thing about this is the percentages that have gone up.
Yes.
11,000 pupils were expelled last year, a rise of 16%. And these younger ones that we're talking about now, it's a rise of 21% in a year. Primary school
Could that be schools maybe expelling willy-nilly and not maybe doing more interventions?
I think there are rumours or anecdotal stories of schools excluding or expelling children who may not be the ones who are going to perform well. And let's be clear, if you're a teacher dealing with 30 children, if you've got one or two disruptive ones, the other children are going to suffer because you've got to make sure you're focusing on the majority in a school environment. However, I think the power of teachers or the interventions that teachers can put in place in terms of transforming a potentially bad egg into a good pupil, that's the whole reason why I want teachers to be more supported, because for me, I know Mr. Foley was a young Irish teacher. He was the coolest teacher in the school, and he was the only one who could talk to me and understand what I needed in that environment.
Yeah.
And he had the capacity to turn my life around. And that's not a cliche statement, it really did. And if we can get more teachers focused on those kids, but given the support to do it, I think that's what we have to really focus on.
Everyone remembers, don't they, that one or two teacher. And it's just...
Who was your teacher?
Well, I had a couple, but I remember, well, when I was 5, it was now my son's age, I remember I was sat on Mrs. Harlow's knee. But the fact she was able to put
do that
and give me a cuddle.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, and it's weirdly, strangely, perversely, the most comforting smell. It was like cheap coffee and cigarettes.
Yeah.
I could smell it from the staff room, and I'm sat on her lap. And I'm so scared, because I'd never eaten shepherd's pie before, and I thought real shepherds were in it, and that was full of I was like, I don't want to eat real shepherds. And she was just giving me a cuddle, and I never forget it. Like, I was 5 years old, one of my earliest kind of core memories.
Miss Coleman was my favourite teacher.
Why?
She's actually passed now. Again, she
soul.
used to smoke a lot, and I used to smell the cigarettes and everything. She was the only teacher. She was a biology teacher. Yeah. She was really strong, very strict, but she was funny. She had this funny energy about her. And she made learning so easy. And I've never enjoyed... I got a B in biology.
Yeah.
I got a B in biology. I was so proud of it. I went on and did biology A-level. And then I dropped out because I didn't like the teacher. But it was that teacher why I was encouraged to love biology so much.
If you enable a structure that teachers are allowed to be those people, then you'll get the results, and children have to be the results.
Look, everyone respected us so much.
You've got a confetti tape.
Look at the celebration.
It's just coming down.
They agreed.
We could afford 4 coming down.
But I think to Joel's point,
shower you.
if you've got a great head, who, in a school, sets the agenda that we are not going to let these children down, and that is the focus and responsibility. I think that permeates through every single level, but you get the parents on board.
Bring the parents on board right at the beginning. Actually say this is a team effort.
Yeah.
OK, listen, let's move on. Would you gate crash a honeymoon? Imagine this. It was a big wedding of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, and they've been spotted on their honeymoon with a group of friends, including Katy Perry and her recently separated husband, Orlando Bloom. They've joined the whole party. I mean, is this normal? Should we go and gate crash other people's honeymoon, or do you think we should leave them to it in their romance and happiness?
Well, a honeymoon isn't quite what it used to be. In the very old days, a honeymoon was the chance for you to get to know your new partner. And
Intimately.
Intimately.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I believe, this may not be the case in this family, I don't know, there's been intimacy beforehand. So they may be actually wanting to have a few friends.
We're bored.
Park it all up a bit, you know. Oh, honeymoon, schmoneymoon, oh dear. Oh, good, look who's coming over the edge of the boat.
I mean, it's another question also. The fact that Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom are holidaying together and they're not together anymore. Should you still have holidays with your ex?
Oh, yes.
Oh, it depends.
think?
Oh, yes. I mean, I've just been watching this week. First date, we had a throuple. Oh, it's all the rage. So, I mean, probably he's into that as well. I know it's a bit early in the day for discussing these matters, but there we go.
I don't know where to start unpicking all of that.
I don't know where to look.
I presume they were all invited. So, I mean, can you imagine if...
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
people
overstaying.
they'll be like, he's still here.
They're still
I
here.
think it really depends on who it is, because if Jeff turns up in a super yacht with champagne and gifts, you're not going to turn him away.
He wants to share it out a little bit, doesn't he?
But there's a number of people whose parents have come on their honeymoon because they can't let go of their child. That would be completely distressing. Can you imagine waking up in the morning, going down for breakfast, and mum's there like, how was your evening? Actually, that's not what we're going to talk about. I think it's quite difficult.
I inadvertently gate-crashed a rather distinguished party a few years ago.
Go on, please.
I was a friend of the photographer Tony Snowdon.
Yeah?
And
Lord Snowdon?
Lord Snowdon,
He was,
great photographer.
Princess Margaret's husband.
Indeed. We were going to have lunch. We turned up at the restaurant where he thought we were going to have lunch, and the restaurant was closed. There was a guy on the door saying, it's closed, Lord Snowdon, it's a private function today. He said, no, I brought my friend, Mr. Brandreth, we're having lunch. He said, no, it's a private function. Lord Snowdon pushed past the doorman and marched me in.
Really?
And suddenly, who did we see in front of us? But Elton John.
Wow.
Stop it.
Elton John had taken the restaurant for his staff Christmas party.
Oh, God.
Which we then
I bet he
gate-crashed.
welcomed you with open arms.
He did. And we had to say, here's Elton at this end of the table. We were sat at the other end, my friend and I. And my friend then began, he was there, Elton was there with his gardener and his accountant and the laundry lad, you know, all the staff. All the staff were there, and us two at the end. And then my friend, Tony, began saying, oh, I don't like this set meal. I don't want
No way.
And he sent the wine back, wanting a better wine.
Oh, my God.
Elton was so sweet. He came round and sat between each of his members of staff and chatted to them. And he sat between us as they were members and gave us little Christmas presents.
So basically, Gyles is saying it's OK to gate crash a honeymoon. Thank you so much.
Freeloader.
News fanatics, Gyles and Tim are back to talk to me more of the news stories making headlines today.
Including this story, which is all about vegetarian schools. OK, so after a school in Sheffield announced that they would only be serving vegetarian food to pupils, parents have launched a petition to reinstate meat to the lunch menu. More than 100 parents of Sharrow School in Sheffield has signed a petition asking for the school, which has recently become vegetarian, to put meat back on the menu, and has accused the school of putting the children's health at risk. Now, some of these children have actually started to feel a bit unwell not having meat in their diet.
Difficult. I remember before COVID, I was on this pescatarian journey because it was the in thing to do to try and rebalance your diet.
Is that just fish?
Just fish only, and I felt really good off the back of it, actually. But I think as children are growing, there is a need for them to have nutrients in their diet, isn't there?
You need to have a balanced diet. Now, that probably does include things that are in meat and fish as well as in vegetables. I have a granddaughter who is a vegetarian, a daughter who's a vegetarian, and a wife who's a vegetarian.
Oh, wow.
And we went through, when they were teenagers, this issue. And basically the doctors we knew said, actually, let them decide when they're grown up. When you are growing, you do need a really balanced and varied diet. So it seems to me quite stringent of this school to impose on its students that they have to have a vegetarian diet, since you've got to have lunch at school. I don't know if they're allowed to bring in a packed lunch, which could indeed include meat or fish.
As well. I think the bigger concern is that parents may perceive that this is a cost-cutting exercise because obviously adding meat to a school meal is more expensive. And I don't think we want to be going down the road of reducing the costs at the risk of reducing a child's health. But the reality is that when you're talking about the average school meal in the UK costing £2.61, everyone's trying to cut corners to see if they can make it more efficient to run in schools. I think we've got to be very careful, though, that we make sure nutrients at the highest point, and that's the focus for our children.
But then the menu looked quite nice. Corn grills, margarita pizzas, with the only meat or fish being fish fingers on a Friday.
So they do get some fish on a Friday. £2.61 is what's available to create a school meal, which is not a great deal of money.
No.
Apparently, about half of the children at this school are eligible for free meals. It's a complicated issue, but I think, actually, a more varied diet is probably a good idea.
But listen, Friday was the fish and chips day. You had to have
fish on Friday, absolutely.
Still try and stick to that rule.
Well, of course. We do as well.
Not in a religious way, just culturally. It's just like fish always feels like Friday.
I like a Friday fish.
Now listen, speaking of food, how do we feel about a restaurant tout? Do we? Because it's a bit. What am I going to like? If someone comes out and tells me that to eat in the restaurant, I immediately don't want to eat in the restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, the Italian teller Luca has banned restaurant touts. Have you guys been to Luca? I don't know if you've ever been to.
No, I haven't been.
It's absolutely stunning.
It's not filthy, Luca. This is beautiful, Luca.
It's beautiful.
It's in Italy.
I like being shown the menu and go, "Oh, what you got? What you selling
There's
me?"
a difference between that, though. I think. In some way. I think this
You're going to throw in a bottle of wine.
You negotiate.
The restaurant touts, known as Butta Dendro, stand outside and deploy charm, wit, sheer perseverance to lure tourists into the restaurants. However, the city's deputy mayor for tourism has now declared war on the Bittinera in a bid to reduce negative impact of over-tourism. Remo Santini, the deputy mayor, said, Lucca is an elegant city, a tranquil city, a place where we believe tourists should be free to choose where they eat. We want to avoid Lucca ending up like other major cities. Interesting.
But you've been into these squares, haven't you, a piazza like this, where there are half a dozen restaurants. You don't know where to go.
Yes.
And we are quite like somebody who comes in a jolly way and says, we have the pasta that you would like, you would like.
I think I like it.
Yes.
And performing as vegan.
They usually say to my wife, oh, you want to bring your father to have dinner with you? Do come, the pair of you. And she likes that, and you go. It's the aggressive sort of coming here that people are...
The thing is, if you go to a town square like that in Italy, pretty much wherever you eat in that square, you're going to get a good meal.
That's right. You don't really need anybody to drag it. And I think in some ways as serene and beautiful as that, you just want to be able to browse around and then go with what your heart takes you to, right? But at the same time, if you're a new tourist in an area, that could actually be really helpful in terms of giving you the indication of what you're likely to get.
Yeah, I think I like them. I like the touts.
Yeah, it's part of
Keep the touts. Keep them. Where was the most awkward place you'd fallen asleep? Now, as you know, Hugh Grant was spotted at Wimbledon. He was actually in the royal box. He fell asleep. The photographers absolutely loved it, took loads of photos, and everyone's been talking about it ever since. But where is the most interesting place you've fallen asleep?
In bed on the first wait for it, on the first night of the honeymoon. The day was so exhausting. The day was so exhausting. We went to Rome. So we had the wedding, and then we flew to Rome. We arrived...
Straight away?
Yes, we arrived into the honeymoon suite.
You'd be really tired.
I lay down on the bed, fully clothed, and my wife actually took a photograph, thinking, is this the way it's going to begin?
This is my life.
Yes, so that was a bit embarrassing.
But you know what? You'd be forgiven for that. That's a very long day. You've just got married. You're overwhelmed.
No. On your wedding night, no.
Come on,
well,
Tim.
you can't be there anyway.
So I will admit, I won't say where, but it was in a meeting that was going on for ever too long. And you know what? The death by PowerPoint moment happens. Somebody gets out of a presentation. They think it's going to be the revolutionary thing. And by slide 14, you've lost the will to live. And the difficulty is I respect him because he had sunglasses on. In a meeting, it's quite obvious that you're kind of zoning out. The trick I was always told, if you're ever really tired of the meeting, pinch the inside of your thigh.
Oh, yes.
And what does that do?
It gives us a little bit of a shock. Don't enjoy it too much there, Dermot.
I said your thigh, not my thigh.
That's not your thigh.
Those are pillows.
I was once told by the actress Anne Hathaway, you've heard of Anne Hathaway, She had a film premiere at the White House when Bill Clinton was president.
Yeah.
He came, he sat there, and almost the moment the music began, he nodded off. And at the end, somebody did say to him, well, Mr. President, you clearly didn't enjoy the movie much. Your eyes, he said, oh no, I close my eyes. Sometimes you need to let the words just wash over you.
That's brilliant. Do you know what? I find it in the cinema.
Cinema
I find it
theatre,
warm,
same. Yes.
dark.
Just
I
only
always
for
wanna
like
go to
5 minutes
sleep.
or something. Isn't
Yeah.
Now, Gyles and Tim, you've stuck around. Thanks, guys.
Oh, we love it.
Headlines making
We
the show.
love the longer
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
That little half-hour extra just gives us a...
A little
Yeah.
bump for the weekend. Now, this is an interesting story. Olivia Rodrigo's guitarist has revealed the pop star brought a therapist with her on a tour, so the whole crew can have 3 therapy sessions. Comes the same day that the NHS has revealed, that it's revealed the NHS issued more than 1 in 4 people sign themselves off sick for mental health last year. Also, Lewis Capaldi has teamed up with an online therapy platform, BetterHelp, isn't this lovely, to give fans 734,000 hours of free online therapy, a reference to the 734 days he took off to focus on his mental health.
Oh, it's very important. Recently, I had an injury, so I tore my ACL in my right leg. Not great. You know how important it is with regards to sports. And for the first time in my life, I'm an ever-optimist person.
Yeah.
That moment, I looked down and I thought I'd never be able to do the stuff that I wanted to do. And I went to a very, very dark place. And I'd never experienced any mental health challenges before that particular point in time. Thankfully, with family, with friends, able to talk about it with other individuals and admit the vulnerability I was feeling, I came out the other side really well. But lots of people, that's their everyday existence.
Yeah.
They don't have anyone to talk to, and it's really troubling. So I think what has happened with Olivia and Lewis is phenomenal, but particularly about even starting the conversation for lots of people, because we don't talk enough about our mental health, and we always want to talk about, well, just be optimistic, come out the other side, stiff upper lip. But actually, sometimes it's really hard and it's really dark. I think what troubles me with the conversation around what Wes is trying to have is the presumption that lots of people are just pulling somebody's leg. And for lots of people, particularly with mental health challenges, you can't see it. Lots of people front it, they walk through stuff and they go on every single day.
Now, you say Wes. You mean Wes Streeting, the health secretary,
yeah.
who is facing a real dilemma because he is responsible for the National Health Service, which costs billions of pounds.
Huge.
And is costing billions more because there are lots of people, particularly young people, who are going to the doctor and saying, I've got issues, please sign me off work. And he is worried, both for the economy and for the cost of the health service, that some of these young people maybe don't need to be off work. Maybe they need help. They need a whole range of possible cures. I mean, it may be that actually they just need to be socialising more. They need to be going to the gym. It's such a variety, wide spectrum of
Hard for a
problems.
doctor to prescribe that.
And also in 10 minutes,
Right.
whatever it is that they have per patient.
I think it's even less than that.
And so they don't want to give out pills, A, because pills are expensive, and also you don't want people to become dependent. How can you change people's lives? Now, what is wonderful about this example of Olivia Rodrigo, is that she is, as an employer, saying, actually, the mental well-being of my colleagues, my team, is important. And there are lots of other employers, not of small bands like this, but major employers who are now taking this more seriously.
Definitely. So in some of the companies that I work with and support, we have employment assistance programs, which are part of the duty of care for every employer to look after their members of staff. So if you ever have a trouble, you can pick up the phone, speak to a counsellor, and lots of organisations have that as part of the package of work, which is brilliant. But I think we just need to start this conversation where it's OK to admit you sometimes don't feel OK and you need some support. But to your point, we have to make sure that there's alternative options rather than just signing somebody off sick. And actually, how can we get a preventative mentality around...
Especially big employers that can shoulder that burden quite easily.
Yes.
And that goes for everything from childcare through to...
Correct.
But there's lots of research that shows it benefits those employers.
Yeah.
They keep the workforce, they stay longer, they enjoy their work more, they're therefore more productive. This is a very interesting area, and people shouldn't assume, because you're needing help, that necessarily, you know, you're going around the bend and you're going to need a lifetime of help. Actually, you may just need someone to say, have you thought of this?
Bump in the road,
You know, maybe talk to so-and-so.
Really interesting.
Or come round to my house and have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love
Now,
that.
on the subject of tea, would you call somebody out if they made a terrible brew? Well, basically, there's a new study. It's revealed that 45% of us believe colleagues make the worst brew. Would you actually say something? Now, I'm going to come forward and say, absolutely.
You would tell me.
Absolutely. I think if it's like dishwater, I think you should let them know, listen, I'm not being funny, but let me show you how to make a good cup of tea. Because some people have not been taught how to do it.
So
all Americans Every single
They
person
don't
in
use
the
boil-
United
they
States
don't
of
use
America.
boiling
They
water.
have no idea. There is famous...
What part of boiling water don't they
They
understand?
don't
Iced tea,
they
iced
do it in
tea.
the wrong order. There's the famous story of Prince Charles, as he was, now our king, going for tea with Ronald Reagan at the White House. They brought in a cup full of boiling water and next to it a tea bag. And I don't think the Prince of Wales had ever seen a tea bag before. He didn't know what to do, so he just gazed at this and then eventually left. They have no idea. They put the bag in afterwards. I mean, it's ridiculous. I am very particular.
Me too.
And I think it is like declaring what your dietary preferences are.
Go on.
Tea is mentioned.
Give us your MO.
My MO is tea bag in, leave the tea bag in.
Absolutely.
Boiling water, dash of milk. Thank you.
Yes.
Wow.
Like it.
Hang on, you never take the tea bag out?
I love it, because I recreate the magic of Jaws.
do you leave it in while
I
you're
leave
drinking it?
The magic of Jaws, as you bring it up to your face, there is a little spiky edge of the bag
Oh, no.
floating around. And also...
Is it the silk one you have?
Of course.
I knew it.
I know.
What's your
PG tips. I literally
No, but like
cut- bang in the
tea?
tea bag.
Yeah.
Boiling hot water.
Yeah.
Pour it on. Add the milk. I like it milky,
Oh.
but strong.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't want a dash of milk, thank you very much.
Sure.
Put the milk in. I want milk. Put the milk in, leave the tea bag. Hold. Sugar. 1, 2,
No.
3.
No.
I know,
never
bearing
do
in
3
mind, I do 3 sugars. Bearing in mind, I don't drink tea very often. It's like once in a blue
Not
moon.
surprised.
So if I'm going to have a
On doctor's
tea,
orders.
I want the sugar.
How
in
can
it.
you tell the difference between 2 sugars and 3 sugars?
Oh, there's a lot of difference. Yeah, there's a lot. You can't taste it with 2.
Pepsi and Coke are
You can't
different.
taste it with 2.
Can I say...
3 sugars, and
this
that's
is
how I
wonderful.
drink tea.
This is therapy. For many people, actually going round to a neighbour and jointly...
Having a cup of tea.
Having a cup of tea and making it together, doing it your way, my
I
way.
would take the tea bag out before I drink it, Giles. I don't want it. I don't want no tea
want a
bag
dry
touching my
tea
mouth.
bag.
Absolutely
There's a
not.
I got
no.
told off for putting the milk in first.
Oh, that's very
Oh,
posh.
interesting.
The
Is
reason...
that in a china cup?
Come on,
Yeah,
you must
exactly.
know the provenance behind it.
Porcelain cups. And the danger was the boiling water would crack the
Yeah.
porcelain.
Exactly.
So you put a touch of milk,
Milk
in
in
first.
first.
Oh,
I do still like doing that.
Tim's very posh.
I quite like loose tea, too, in the teapot.
Do you?
And
Oh,
then
it's
use a
messy.
strainer.
Do you like a china cup as well? Because my mum says it tastes
Tastes
different.
different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Tastes
in a
different.
china cup it tastes completely.
Tastes
Do you
different.
do that, Tim?
I don't, but if I go to friends, I like them to treat me to a nice little thing. But I'm terrible because I'll make a bad cup of tea on purpose so I don't get asked to do it in the future.
Do you? You're very
My
clever.
favourite meal in the
Just
world.
banging on about how important it is to be a good employer.
Yeah, I'm not a good friend. I'm a great employer, not a great friend. That's all.
People who work for you are like, if you try this tea,
Awful.
crap.
Don't make him do that.
don't make him do the tea. What's your favourite meal of the world?
Afternoon tea in a grand hotel.
Oh, yeah, the Ritz.
Well,
I've
to name
never
but
been
one.
there.
Other hotels are available.
Hotels available. And more than welcome if you'd like to invite
Not possibly for you.
Dorchester.
Yes, exactly. Grosvenor House, you name
Yeah.
it. But the point is, the idea of tea and scones and those little sandwiches with the crust cut off.
Yeah, and it's very
Well, this
filling,
one-
isn't it?
It's very,
you don't realise
you don't
that.
need to eat for a week.
So filling.
And indeed, you can't afford to eat for a
No.
week.
My mum would say
Absolutely.
cucumber sandwich.
That's how we are in the kitchen. Let's find out how we are in the bed sheets.
Oh,
because-
yes,
excuse me.
Give us the story.
Oh, and you studied to the left.
God, man. Don't laugh before
On
you
which
told us.
nation performs best in the bedroom? And it's, well, I say it's bad news for Brits, but...
No, it's
there's
not.
Well, we're 9th, but there's 195 countries, so I actually
Oh,
think that's not
that's
bad.
actually not bad.
Researchers from the dating app Wisp asked 2,000 people to name the nationality of the best lover they've ever had. Only 4% said they're from the UK. Italians strutted into first place, 21%. The Spanish came second. The Greeks third. Brazilians fourth. Portuguese, Swedes, Australians, and then us. And then Germans finished last. Poor Germans.
Many years
This
ago...
is a nonsense, isn't it? I mean, you're either
Well, no.
attentive as a lover or you're not.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you're from, does
Right.
it, Gemma?
Well, I don't know.
Really?
I was advised when I was a very young man by
Yeah,
the late,
Charles.
great Duke of Devonshire, who said to me, young man, if ever you take a mistress, I would advise you an Italian for excitement, a French person for finesse, but an English woman is best because she will know the rules. So that's the advice that he gave.
I mean,
What rules do we know?
could you
I think
imagine that?
It was a mistress. I mean, I think the rules about not telling people.
Imagine that. Excuse me, Your Grace, Brandreth. Bring him in. Next door. Now, young Brandreth. Sit down there and make yourself comfortable. Can Smithers bring you anything to drink?
But do we think this is all nonsense? I mean, the Italians come way at the top.
I just think it's a bit of bias. I think...
I think
Go on.
I think you're a lover. You're a lover or you're a fighter.
That's right.
Excuse me.
You either are or you're not.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
You say there are 195 countries, but look at the polling. Only 4%. 4% of several 2,000 people who were asked who had international experience. 4% said the Brits. Only 4% out of 2,000. That's the equivalent of 2%.
Do you know what it is? I think sometimes it's the accent. Like, when you've got, like, a foreigner accent, like, you just fall in love with them, don't you?
You're four-dimensional
you know what I
lover.
mean?
You want to hear the whole
Do you
thing.
like whispering sweet nothings?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think
I do, I do. And you know what? If I'm going out with a foreigner, I go, oh, talk to me in
Talk to
your
me.
language.
Tim and I both speak the language of love.
Do ya?
I'm very lucky. So on Sunday, we celebrate our 28th anniversary.
Hey,
yeah, so I'm very, very lucky.
Congratulations,
Thank
Tim.
you so very
That's
much. Thank you.
lovely.
Would your wife like to come round to our place for a change?
Not with the Duke and whatever. Advise about
What's the
Mitchell.
secret, then, do you think? What's the secret to a happy marriage?
I think for us, it's been about communication. It's been about you can have your life, I can have mine, but we'll come together and we'll always talk to each other as we grow. That's what's worked for me.
I know what works. Marrying somebody with very low expectations.
And a lot of money.
If only. Yes.
With an Italian restaurant.
Have you got any more? Have you got
Oh,
any
yeah,
more
this is a
stories?
cracker. Bacardi Breezer's making a return. I didn't even know they went away. After 10 years, what nostalgic drink would you bring back?
Do you ever remember K cider?
Yes, I do.
K cider. That was messy.
not the answer I expected you to come out.
What is a
Yeah.
K cider?
So it was a black bottle with a red K in the middle.
Yeah.
It was a very cheap cider.
remember.
It was that or Can I wine, because you pretended you were posh.
Yeah.
It was a cheap wine you take around.
Do you
What about
remember
2020? Remember 2020?
2020?
Jeez.
2020
I think
was,
it's like an Alco Pop.
Yeah.
Alco Pops, remember that?
Gyles.
Oh, well, I used to like wine in the
Very-
basket.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Black
wine,
House.
wine in
The
the
rosé
basket.
in a
They just had
basket.
headache. all
Rosé,
over it.
Mathieu's
What's
rosé in a...
wine in the basket?
Well, it came in, it was wrapped around like a basket. But my real drink of choice would be creme de menthe frappé.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
No.
I don't
Old,
know.
older viewers.
Weirdly, I'm not going to go with alcoholic. I miss a Tizer from time to time.
Oh,
Tizer.
oh, Mr. Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Lilt? No more Lilt?
Yeah.
I know! Bring back Lil. Thank you, you two.
Great fun being with you.
On Mondays.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.